First of all, I want to thank you for coming here. And I'm going to explain a little about art history. Then we're going to talk about tattooing, how colors came about, where color come from. Literally, this tiger I did like you were saying, trying to look here and pass on the information. And give it all you have, because if you do, money will come for sure. Exactly. We will start with the first manifestations of art. Just like humanity started making images of the things we saw, we had the necessity to start communicating. In tattoo, in art, you only learn by painting. Look at this painting, this Van Gogh's portrait. Is it realism? It isn't realism. Oh, I want to immortalize you forever. You don't need to stay still for months. Click, and that's it. Imagine you make a rose and you grab the grape. Oh, but now with the example, it's going to be clear for you because that's what you will paint. That's why each one has a kit that I prepared so we can do the exercises here in the seminar. How does color work? Where does color come from? What is color? When you think of Miami, you think about amazing colors. When you think of London, you think about cold. And how are the rest of the colors called? Tertiary. The color that you have picked, you must apply the 3 primary on it. At first, I make it very dark, like that. And now keep painting a little that way. That's right. Keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on. Very good. And next to it, there is a green, like more intense, right? But going to the green, there's another color. What did we want to do here? Everyone put color around it. I didn't understand that. But now do we have a tool to know what we can put in the background or not? Yes, of course. This looks a lot nicer if we place it in a frame and decorate it. Look at how it changes, look! We're going to start today's task from the beginning, planning the tattoo with the client. Here I can preview the position. When I turn the arm, here you see the face. If it's too dark, it generates a too abrupt contrast between the neck and the background. I will place it for you to see there how the tattoo would look. Is that what's really important, or what's really important is to know what color to apply? Before we do the stencil, what can we do too? Take out the colors that we will use. I will write what's this little thing for, because later in the tattoo, I get lost. With this, I already know more or less how many cups I have to set. We work the color all together and we say this is the best option, and we do it. Ready, now let's make the stencil. I need to be able to understand the flower and to understand the giraffe. So what do I do first? I have to mark all the parts where different colors go, like here. The image shows that there is nothing in this part of the eye. I whether use the imagination or I tattoo it as it is. That's why realism becomes like you get lost and you say, what is this? And then my pictorial ability is what will allow to give the realism. That's why it's so necessary to paint. Okay, now we have our work table set. We have the chair where the client will sit, the arm holder lined with vinipel. So it's not until we pigment, until we put the needle on the skin, that we will know the real voltage of the machine. And a Magnum 49, which is this right here. I have picked a color palette. Let's look at the image and see where each color is coming from. So let's see these greens here. Yes, it looks opaque. Why so much yellow and orange? Since it's the color that we will use the most, it's better to have variety. I already have the gray served, and now I just have to put white on it. And the question is, are you going to miss the whites application? Okay, before we start, we will explain the stencils process. We already drew it, right? But let's see how we did it. But when I do it like this, when I put it on the skin, it shortens. It goes like this. We're going to place the stencil with a considerable amount, and I stretch it. What for? So it doesn't get wrinkles. And I take it off from where? From the cuts that I had made on it. We're going now to take the photo of our tattoo, for which is necessary to have it over a dark background. A polarized filter helps me block the brightness. When we have had a long session, we have to verify with our client that he's okay. We take pictures and post them. That way we will get more and better clients. Nice. Well, we have reached the end of the seminar. I hope it's been of great help. If there's any doubt, check the seminar again or use the chromatic circle to make color combinations.